quick introduction of EasyGov. So there are few terms that you need to understand. First one, social protection. We know that every government using the taxpayer money provide health, housing, education, and food support to the vulnerable section of the society. That is social protection. The global expenditure on social protection is $14 trillion. And the error of exclusion, that means the people who are not getting any social protection whatsoever is 54%. 4.2 billion people in this world does not have access to any social protection. That is the amount of error of exclusion in social protection is. Whereas, as I've told you, we spend $14 trillion. So my startup, EasyGov, uses tech as a digital public infrastructure to make sure that this error of exclusion is reduced in social protection. Obviously, government cannot increase the budget. Every economy is in pressure. So, and increasing the budget on social protection sometime ends up the situation like Sri Lanka, where the economy of the country goes down in the burden of providing social protection through debt from the global agencies. To avoid that, you have to manage the social protection the same money. And for that, you have to reduce error of inclusion in social protection. That is what my startup does. Coming to DPI, it's a very interesting thing that has happened. It started with the tech companies like Microsoft, IBM, Oracle. And then there was a statement that every company has to be a tech company, otherwise they will cease to exist. And then people moved to this, and then they came the age of data company, where you had Google, Facebook, Twitter, and now every company has to be a data company to survive the market, because the data is equal to money and a power. And there the concept of DPI comes at play. If the data is money and power, if it gets concentrated in the hand of only few, that is not good for the world and for the people at large. So DPI, what does, it provides the goodness of technology without doing the aggregation of the wealth, and it empowers each and every individual. So in case of social protection, the DPI can help to reduce the error of exclusion. If you look at the different model of data being used in the world, the US model primarily was data for profit. The China model was data for surveillance. European Union model was data for regulation, whereas India model is data for development. We don't own data. We don't want to monetize the data. We want to give this data in the hand of individuals who are the real owner of the data. If data is a new oil, data is a money, then data belonging to the individual is owned by them, and they have a right to use it the way they want. There shouldn't be any corporate or there shouldn't be a company that is making misuse of the data and making wealth where they are deprived for the services. So I will leave it here, and probably I will come back later on the second part. And that's a most fundamental question. And when you talk about social protection, sometimes we say, till the time we don't have a 360-degree view of a family, we cannot decide who is more deprived. And if you have a 360-degree view of a family, then it's a privacy concern. So I think you asked a good question. The way we handle it is first divide the whole knowledge into three parts. One is your software itself, the code itself. Second is the knowledge, the ontology. And third is data. Keep three into different entity in a separate layer. That is one. Second, you have to build a principle called organs. I will quickly explain, probably we can talk offline later, what organs is. So O stands for open standard. Wherever you are, so that there is an interoperability, so that we don't put all the data at one place. When the need basis, you get the data and you release it, right? So for that you have to use O for open standard, R for revocable. Revocable is, it's my choice, my data, I own it. I will decide who will use it, when, and for what purpose. G for granular, no global access to data to anyone, neither to government, right? It's instance based. A for auditable, whomsoever is accessing, it has to be auditable and shown to the individual, right? Everyone will not that learned, but if the person is, they can see who used my data for what purpose. and for notice to everyone involved in the data exchange, and S is secure by design. So if you follow the organs principle, probably you can get the best of the data without getting into the problem that you said.
Thank you. I think is organ a good?
So we were in the same situation that you are in, let's say 20 years back. And then we thought of physical model. So common service center as an access point wherever the broadband is available. So it's a hub and spoke model. People who do not have internet, they can come to this model. So you can build your services in 3 assisted mode. A physical center, an enumerator who is assisting the people, and the kiosk in the government offices. So that is the immediate, and then while you're building this. Coming to the second question that the people don't transact to avoid the taxes, that's a difficult one, and probably you have to live with that, and slowly and gradually, don't force all transaction to be digital, right? But at least where the government money is going, the taxpayer money is going, we can ensure complete digital transaction on those money.
Awesome. I think Sylvia, is it?
Silvana.
Silvana, sorry. I'm so sorry. I was there in the meeting. Please do.
Sure. So I think I will combine 3 questions from you, and sir from you, right, on the data, right, how to do the data exchange and still serve the public without compromising on the data security. So my whole learning is from Nordic Institute of Interoperability in Europe. They have an open source tool called Xroad. And from there, the genesis of my whole thought process is. So I will give you an example, probably that will help you to understand. If an accident happened on the road, and someone jumped the red light on the road, and there is a policeman who wants to give a chit or a fine to this person, what data this person need? So in the current scenario, they will see the driving license. The person doesn't need to see the driving license. All that person need is that is this person is legally allowed to drive this vehicle at this point in time or not. That means I can mask the blood group, the address, the gender, only the identity, date of expiry of the driving license, and the type of vehicle the person is driving. Answer is no. I don't need even these 3 information. It doesn't matter if the person is allowed to drive a commercial vehicle or a private vehicle. The question is what vehicle this person is driving right now. I just need answer in yes and no. So in my system, IT system, I will send 2 information saying that this identity is driving right now car. Is he allowed to drive is today. I am not even bothered with it expiring tomorrow. So I didn't share any data. Still the business decision has been taken. Similarly, if you look at the lending part, I don't need to see the bank statement. Why do I need to? I need to find my logic of giving the credit. So what you do, you don't share a discrete data. First you convert into the block. You decide for that specific purpose, what information has to be shared, not data. And then you share the information. So it's a difficult one, but it has already been done. And I'm a big fan of this Nordic Institute of Interoperability, the way they have designed the whole thing. And it is open standard, it is open source, anyone can use it. Thank you.
Great. Wonderful. I think 2 questions that came, and I wanted to ask Jainaba something.